Nobody was asking or teaching me safe and unsafe touch, safe and unsafe secrets, how to speak up and tell if you're being abused. But as that little first, second grader, the police officer came in and taught us stranger danger. I still remember the video, the creepy van pulling up, the guy with the missing teeth, greasy hair, looked like he hadn't showered in months, trying to lure the kid with candy. But as you heard earlier, 90% of the time it is someone a child knows that is abusing them. But I was only educated not to talk to strangers, so I continued to stay silent. Well, soon I am once again finding myself at Ashley's house, but I always tried to avoid the inside. We always played in the court, played in the backyard. Well, one day I had just gone in just to grab water. And that uncle of hers cornered me, brought me now into his bedroom, and proceeded, as I was screaming and yelling, turned up the music so my best friend, who was still outside, couldn't hear. When she eventually came inside, knocking on her uncle's door, asking if she had seen me, he sat there and threatened me, told me to be quiet. The music playing, best friend ends up walking away back outside, and suddenly I am now finding myself being handcuffed to his bed as he proceeds to once again rape and sodomize me. That's something that doesn't leave a child, something that stays with them for the rest of their life.
Will educate children in the schools on what I was failed throughout my education in Illinois.
Avoid it. It's a topic in society that we've avoided for far too long, and it's time we finally do something about it. I've gotten this law passed in 4 states, 2 more pending with it, and my mission is not to stop until we get all 50 states passing this law, because I don't want any more little Larrens out there keeping diaries of secrets like this, but instead I want kids out there standing up, speaking out against these monsters, and stopping them before they harm another child.
Stranger danger in our society. In 6th grade, I went through the DARE program. Graduated as a little DARE graduate. And when you graduated, you learned the 8 ways to say no to drugs. But I stand here today and ask you, where were the 8 ways on how to get away and how to tell today? I decided to put that shame, the stigma, and be a voice for those who are too afraid to come forward. The voice for those of people you yourself know that have yet to speak up about this horrific crime that goes in, day out, that is going on right now in our own backyards, in our own communities. I decided to go after this law because we need to educate and empower kids through age-appropriate curriculum, research-based, that will give kids the tools and knowledge on how to tell and keep their perpetrators from abusing them ever again, from abusing more children. For example, the Sandusky case. So many children could have been saved in that situation. We cannot leave this up to all the adults. Look at how many adults there, from a coach, a president of a university, that continue to allow this to go on for 10 more years, seeing this man around children 10 years after it was reported. I wish we can just leave it up to the adults, but we can't, because we have adults that do not do the right thing. That's why we need to empower kids with their voice to tell, and to continue to tell until it stops. And in the end, the kids end up being the heroes, because they're saving another child's life from becoming the next victim from this evil, silent epidemic. I hope you will see the importance in this and help me in making Michigan be the 5th state to pass this, as I go across this country on a crusade to get all 50 states, and will not stop. I'm determined and will not stop until all 50 states have passed this law, and I will get it done. We have to give kids this important message, because that little 7-year-old that's being abused tonight, without Aaron's law, she's going to continue to be abused by that person she knows until much later into life, and maybe not come forward until she's 30, 40, 50, gone down the path of an eating disorder, prostitution, drug addiction, because no one ever gave her the message on how to speak up and tell, not keep this a secret to yourself.
Showing them the importance of why we give kids a voice. I can stay angry and bitter towards my perpetrators. I've chosen not to. I've chosen to do something positive with this, forgive these men, and give kids the voice I didn't have. As I tell you today, and as I tell legislators across this world, the only people that should be against this legislation are the predators themselves. Who wouldn't want to protect kids? I hope you will hear my message, see the importance behind it, and help me give the children of Colorado a voice, the voice I didn't have. Let's make this be the 21st state.
Finding out my little sister was being abused for my abuse to end. I ended up moving forward with my life, going down a very destructive path, depression, suicide attempt, eating disorders, you name it, because that's something so often that happens to victims. Others attempt different forms of suicide, don't even survive. Turn to prostitution, drug abuse, because so often people that are being abused do not report it until they're in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, because nobody ever gave them the message on how to speak up and tell. The shame that they carry, the fear of not being believed. So after getting my master's in social work, I quit my full-time master level job as a youth and family counselor, making it my mission to pass Aaron's Law in my home state of Illinois, requiring that we teach kids once a year on personal body safety education, teaching kids the differences between safe and unsafe touch, safe and unsafe secrets, how to report this to a safe adult, and to keep reporting it if your abuse does not end. It's as simple as that. 1 hour out of a school year. We teach kids bully intervention, internet safety, as I mentioned there, stranger danger. This is just one more key component we should be teaching kids. I passed Aaron's Law in my home state in 2013, and since then, over a decade now, have traveled to more than half the country testifying to legislators to pass this law. As far away as Alaska and Hawaii, and I could tell you today, 37 states have now passed it. Ohio is one of 13 that is not. One final example I will give you is it took me 8 years going back and forth to the state of New York to pass this law, going to the national media, telling these legislators year after year, one day I will bring you the proof of why it was so important for me to get this law passed in New York. It finally passed in 2019 after a lot of challenges I faced, but not giving up. And a year into the first year of having it be taught, a Children's Advocacy Center went in, prevention educator in an elementary school in upstate New York, teaching Aaron's Law. Well, just in that 1 hour, 9 kids in that school came forward saying they're being sexually abused. And these 9 kids were all pointing their finger at the same man, not the stranger, but the principal. The principal had been abusing these kids in his office during his what they called lunch buddy program. This went on for 17 years to multiple children. This has hit the national news, and that number from 9 kids that one day has now exceeded more than 30 kids going back 18 years being abused by a principal. This is just one example how 1 hour of education made the difference of more children being abused and stopping this predator who's behind bars. So it is my hope that you will see what the difference this law can make for the children in Ohio.
Look what he's done to you, it isn't fair. Your light was bright and new, but he didn't care. He took the heart of a little girl and made it grow up too fast. Now words like innocence don't mean a thing. You hear the music play, but you can't sing. And those pictures in your mind keep you locked up inside your past. This is a song for the broken girl, the one pushed aside by the cold, cold world you are. Hear me when I say you're not the worthless they made you feel. There is a love they can never steal away. You don't have to stay the broken girl. Those damaged goods you see in your reflection, love sees them differently. Love sees perfection, a beautiful display of healing all the way tonight. Tonight, this is a song for the broken girl, the one pushed aside by the cold, cold world you are. Hear me when I say you're not the worthless they made you feel. There is a love they can never steal away. You don't have to stay the broken girl, You don't have to stay the broken Let your tears touch the ground. Lay all your shattered pieces down and be amazed by how grace can take a broken girl and put her back together again.